Okay, you're asking for money on time? Fuck off, we'll get someone else who won't.
Yeah.
Mom, was that a mistake? Like, no, baby.
At a 9 to 5, which you very rightly said, we don't really work 9 to 5.
What is the point of
So
this?
you're getting paid for it. Woohoo!
Everyone who's reporting into me, do not make these escalations.
Hello. What's up, guys? I'm your host with the most, Chinmay Sharma, aka Scuba Chinu, and welcome back to Wokish, a fun podcast where you can be who you are and say what you like, ish. So today's topic is 9 to 5ers versus hustlers. I'm going to introduce Team Hustlers first. There's Sameeksha here. And we've got Suhail. Welcome, guys, versus the girl power of Team 9 to 5 with Shubhangi to my right. What's up, Shubhangi?
Hi.
And Alisha. I'm going to just give you guys a sentence or two to describe what you guys do, and then we'll jump right into it. Sameeksha.
So basically, I'm a content creator and I'm co-hosting with Chinu
For the Mumbai Indians show.
Indians.
Pa, pa, pa.
Apart from that, I'm a YouTuber and yeah, that's it. That's about me.
I'm a regular 9 to 5er in comparison. I work at an ad agency and yeah, that's the shortest form of what you'll get of a definition from me.
I guess I'm anything but a 9 to 5er. Been a professional sportsman, moved into sports broadcasting, been a presenter, commentator for the last 8 years, and now moving into entrepreneurship alongside it as well. So the hustle is real, guys. It's happening.
I'm a hardcore 9 to 5er and I've been working for over 9 years now with a PR agency. So,
See, it's not so bad, is it?
No.
Are you still nervous? Are you done? Because
yeah, I think I'm done. No, I think I want to drink from my glass.
Okay, boom. You're not a jhuta person.
No.
Okay, theek hai. So guys, just quickly to start off, show of hands. How many of you guys think that hustlers, macro, upar se, work harder than 9 to 5ers overall? And feel free, because I'm saying upar se, you as a 9 to 5er might work harder than a hustler. But I'm saying overall, do you think hustlers have to put in more effort, they're more hardworking than anyone feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously.
so let's see that fucking hand go up.
Because
Yeah.
I can't just be like, hey, I'm the one.
She's like, I'm a hustler, I work really hard.
No, but you guys feel that hustlers generally put in more effort than...
I don't think so. I think the way 9 to 5 has become these days, it's almost like round the clock.
After COVID, yeah, it's like 9 to 5 is like fine. But then when it comes to this thing, like basically content creation, your mind goes on, 24/7 that what you have to do, how. You don't have
I've
a
seen
personal
that.
life.
So when we host for the MI show, our call time is say 4:30 and she'll come in at 4:30 and I'm prepping for the show and she's shooting another video that she has a 8:30
Yeah,
p.m.
because
deadline.
I have to like go live and they're like, okay.
To which I think they might argue that, yeah, they're also doing multiple projects at the same time, right?
I think it's a tricky one, right? I think especially in the workplace, depends on who you work for. You can be a slave of your company, right? And I think that's where the 9 to 5ers might say, hey, but we work all the time, we're always on call. But I think for us, we're the slaves of ourselves, right? And in some sense, and we are... What our output is only as much as what we put in. And therefore, I think we could sit back, but if we sit back, we're not going to get what we want. And I think it is, that's why I was hesitant to put my hand up because I know I've got friends who've done the Goldman Sachs route or done the Google route and I know how hard they work.
Yeah.
But also, I guess the fact that we don't know where it's heading at times, and sometimes there's that fact that it's
Uncertainty.
pounding you on the head constantly
It's like a
saying...
responsibility, that you have to do it. Like one minute you waste and then you're going to regret it that why did I waste that
Like you
minute?
said, a 9 to 5 job right now, COVID, no COVID, it also it requires you to hustle, right? I'm not going to reach a position that I want to be at if I don't hustle within that. So
Right.
it doesn't mean that I understand from where you're saying slave, my own slave, but I'm saying you're also your own boss.
Yeah, of course.
Right? At the end of the day, no matter what I do, I wouldn't say slave, but I'm always reporting into somebody, right? No matter what level I reach.
We won't tell your employees to watch it. You can say you're a slave.
So when you say a hustler's life, and yes, I feel like there is a pressure that you put onto yourself because you're always looking for, excuse me, but like the next high, right? You're like, okay, this is
One second, you can say fucking all. You don't have to say excuse me for hi. Okay, sorry, go on.
Listen, this is the first 10 minutes, okay?
I can sort of see she might be moving towards Team Hustler here. She's sort of on the fence here. You might be singled down to
No,
just saw that.
first of all, it's called sales. 9 to 5 people will know this. You have to be able to sell what you're doing. And I feel like at a 9 to 5, which you very rightly said, we don't really work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So, but it means that at a certain point, I can switch off. And that liberty is something that
When you said you can
need that.
switch off, that means that after that 5 p.m. you have your personal life. But then when it comes to me and you, of course, it's like it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And Chinmay, you have seen me like I go blank all day. Like okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. Back of the mind.
Does that
so
play?
it doesn't stop.
Does that play on just fucking your head at times?
What
was that the day I asked you something off about?
Yeah, what is wrong? What is wrong? What is wrong? I'm like.
But was it like because you were overwhelmed? Because like everything was just getting to be so
overworked, I think.
Just tired.
Does that ever happen? Because look, do you get a day off mandate a week? I'm sure the times that you guys don't take it, but you have I can guarantee without even asking them that there is no specific off day. We don't know what paid leaves are.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I have that. Like, the thing is, I have mandated, I have a Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yeah.
But, for example, that's...
You get 2 days a week off?
We get 2 days. Yeah. Legally.
Well, we get days off, but we don't want them. We get them, but we don't want them.
Because it's costing you. It's costing you.
Yeah, so for the sake of this conversation, I completely agree that you have to hustle in 9 to 5 as well. I think just for the sake of this podcast, I think hustling is probably more timetable oriented as the 9 to 5ers.
Correct.
So it might be...
He's basically saying don't use the word hustle. He doesn't want you to...
Yeah, don't fucking take that shit away from me, dude.
He was like, you can't be a hustling 9 to 5. I disagree.
The insecurity of a hustler is a lot more than the insecurity of a...
I think so. So that's what I'm saying.
That's something we can all agree, right?
I think you're so, because you very rightly said. He said it, right? He was like, he's got 2 or 3 gigs running simultaneously along with like retainer contracts, because he's like, if this falls through, because this guy's like, oh, you know what, your hair is just not working for me today, or you're balding, God forbid. But you know, like,
Exactly.
But I'm like, at the end of the day, in a 9 to 5 situation, they don't care if I have hair or not. I mean, I will. But I mean, like,
she's like, I will.
I did a 9 to 5 for 13 years of my life. I worked in, but again, family business. So, right, so again.
Then you're the thing of like,
Is that count?
No, but it was the most...
He was like, because his 9 to 5 could start at 9 or at 12.
Yeah.
So he was like...
Oh, no, dude, you didn't meet my granddad, clearly.
God.
He was really hectic. So, anyways.
You haven't met my admin staff that requires you to like sign in at 9 o'clock.
And like, but I never said your admin staff. Oh, admin staff.
They've got like now a new system where there's like GPS tracking. So I can't even be like on my way to work and be like, log in, yes, 1 hour later.
Put it like a dog or something.
He's probably going back. I'm doing current today. No, but I think...
No, because I can't be like, I've logged in at 9 o'clock and still be like on the ceiling, right? I have to literally be logged in at my office.
At your location.
Yeah, because they're going to be like, lady, where are you?
The odd thing is, and it's funny, right? I've always battled this, and I said it a few moments ago, you know, if I didn't do this, my security blanket is a 9 to 5 job.
That's what I was saying earlier, right? Like, you've taken your security blanket and you have 1 or 2, 3 things going on. You have 1 or 2, 3 things going on. For right now, for me, I have this one thing going on. So if tomorrow it becomes a situation that somebody reports me, or somebody's like, you know what, this is not working, I cannot, because she's creating this toxic environment. Everyone who's reporting into me, do not.
But see, you're causing your demise.
No.
We don't.
The thing
Us
is,
looking a certain way, saying something like they might.
No.
And trust me, unfortunately, we have to work in very toxic environments.
And very dangerous. So that's what I'm saying.
Doing it.
You're working in toxic environments. The thing is, I'm working in toxic environments.
I'm sure.
And I'm saying I am representing like this larger community and stuff. But like there are very few environments that you work in where your boss is actually like happy for. And I'm saying boss Lucy, but I'm saying whoever's like just happy for your achievements, right? I found like a space like that, but you don't always do that. You work in very toxic environments. You don't understand, like when they say office politics is huge.
Like, preaching to the choir. Trust me, you don't need to tell the hustle.
That trust me happens.
That's correct.
Probably.
I'm saying that, but I was like, you have a security blanket of like 2-3 things.
Especially the places where we work, man, it's for no fault of ours, for looking a certain way, for talking a certain way, for saying a word out of place on live air, which can happen to anyone, right?
That can happen to us as well.
You know, I will
if you
say
just
one
fuck in the office, you're not going to get fired.
I will say one thing.
I know somebody who has.
No, but
I'm just saying.
I'll tell you something.
Like, I mean, you can't just go around abusing, like,
We don't go around abusing. I'm saying if I say people have
even we don't do that.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm just saying on a general basis. I think this is the common level.
I think the funny thing is you have to find security in the insecurity, right? And I think that's something for me, like I've work to do. Like I know that by being insecure, you're not helping yourself. And I think I've really worked hard on...
But I think that's a very core element. So I feel like when you define a hustler, you define hustling culture...
But I'm saying it's very hard for a hustler to not be insecure. I've literally fought... and I can't say I've always succeeded, right? There have been periods where you can't help but say... fuck man, I should have done this, and actually if I'd done that, I wouldn't
But
have
that-
lost this or whatever.
But you don't know,
you're
like,
fighting
everyone's
against,
doing
I'm saying you're
ifs and
fighting against the common nature is the insecurity, and people, unfortunately, and I say the toxicity is that actually people that you often work for are trying to pit you against
Yes.
Yeah,
one another, and
exactly.
it's a sick environment. I'll tell you honestly, there are people who feed off this, and it's unfortunately the fact
And
that
it
you have
gets
to work
into
for
your
these
head
people.
at some point of time.
It
It
will,
gets into
because,
your
but they
head
want
that-
you to, because they want you to be at their mercy.
I agree with what he's saying because there have been times where I've faced it, or I've seen people face it, where you've had a problem with somebody in your organization and you're just thinking to yourself, can I really go and talk about this?
Yeah.
Because it just might backfire.
Yeah.
And the person you're talking about or the person that you have a problem with is a
Keep
senior
going forward.
person.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So, I mean,
And like has tenure on top of
sorry,
you
but
and
they'll
stuff
just
like
take your
that, yeah.
case the next time you say something. The
Yeah.
person
Is that
you've
the
talked
same
about.
case with your workplace, Alisha?
So as of right now, no, but it has happened like in the past. It's like not in the recent past, but
Right.
it has happened where you have issues with someone, but it's because they're in a place of authority. There's really not much you can do. I'm not saying like, oh, it's in a situation of like sexual advances and it's not even
course,
gotten
yeah,
that.
of course.
But I'm saying
I
sometimes
mean, that's
it's just
fucked up
like,
anyway.
No, no,
yeah,
no,
that's like because
Yeah.
that is a very
It's not like we hustlers are just sexually advancing.
no, I know what you mean, but I'm saying, but it has been situations where you can't,
Yeah.
right? Or it's somebody's relative who's in a senior position, or
Yeah.
it's somebody's good
Right,
friend,
right.
or
Friend,
they've
yeah,
just been
exactly.
together, like in the
Yeah.
company for X number of years versus you've just come in, right? And you're doing your own bit over there, but how do you really do? So yeah, it
Yeah,
happens
it's-
In
everywhere.
that case, we are very lucky that we are our own bosses.
No, but so I agree with you. But I was just going to give you an example to this, where so for the most part we are freelancers. Even when we're working with a big company, we are a consultant. Therefore, HR policies unfortunately
Don't even apply,
to us.
yeah. So you guys
I've had
don't have
people
that.
who have not been paid for, and for the longest time have been abused in the workplace in some way, but they can't go to anyone.
No, I was
Right?
actually, we were just talking about this before
It's
everything
so
started as well.
sad.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, how important it is to set those kind of guidelines. And
But you
it's
can't.
something
And that's a
that-
purely hustler
We
problem.
can't
Yeah.
set those guidelines because unfortunately someone else is setting those guidelines for you. So if you go up against it, they'll just say, okay, you're asking for money on time. Fuck off, we'll get someone else who won't.
Yeah.
Who won't? And
I
you'll ask
know
for
someone-
like 10,000 less or
And I'm
like
telling
half
you,
the
this
rate.
happened.
Now, would
Yeah.
I have liked, then am I envious of the fact that that X amount is probably 3X or 5X or whatever
Yeah, yeah.
on certain months for
Yeah.
you guys? But also, I live with the reality that I know that certain months
You're
it's
running a
zero.
marathon. We're just
Yeah.
sprinting on a
Correct.
monthly
So,
basis.
and the thing is,
Yeah.
but I feel like our end goal is all at the end of the day, right? What are we going to look at X age or whatever? We're looking at like a comfortable life, a
Yeah,
secure
true.
life. We're all looking and we're working for that,
Yeah.
right? For me, and how that works is, why am I burning myself out that I collapse
Yeah.
in the middle of the race rather than even reaching the point that I can sit comfortably in my home and be like, you know what, I
Yeah.
worked my ass off my whole life.
Work hard enough, yeah.
So I can basically afford this luxury. I can afford this to my child or my spouse or
Then
whatever
it's
the hell
very
I want to do.
steady, I feel. You know,
Correct. And so that's what I'm saying. So that kind of high and that rush that you
Yeah.
want, what 9-to-5ers do is basically we find those little spurts
Yeah,
in it,
correct.
and we basically say, okay, you know, this is that little stop for water
But then
or
would you
gateway.
say that gives it to you a little easier? Like life is easier for a 9-to-5er, or you don't agree with?
So I feel like hustlers, the kind of stress that you have
Yeah.
is
Inflicted.
inflicted. I was going to say
100%.
self-proclaimed.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you.
No, it's my job to put words in.
Yeah,
But I'm like, it's self-inflicted, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
Right. We
you
choose to, right,
correct. Like, you
Yeah.
choose to do this, you choose to do a 27-hour day, you choose to not
No.
take...
Unfortunately, it's not. Like, I would not.
I don't think you would have if you had the choice.
I wouldn't
right?
have done it.
Correct.
I wouldn't have done it.
Do you think you told me something very interesting yesterday,
Yeah.
and I would like to start from there.
Yeah.
You attribute a lot of that to your
Stress.
lifestyle.
To stress and lifestyle.
which comes from
Yeah, and
being
see,
a hustler.
you know, it was very. There's a difference, right? There's pressure, and and this is again all from my, going inwards over the last few months. And again, as a sportsman, I always knew there's a difference between pressure and stress, right? I feed off pressure. I love pressure,
Yeah.
right? Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. And there's stress, right? Now, when both overlap, you're going to collapse at some point. Your body will give you signs. At some point, it's got to give you a wake-up call, right? For me, this was my wake-up call. So when I'm on holiday, there are times where I'm going to go, I don't want to be sitting here with my phone. Right? I want to switch off because
wanna be
I don't
present
mind.
in that
I don't mind
scenario.
getting those, not having those 1,000 more followers. I don't mind having those. Fuck it. There's a.
then you're from a different community.
No,
and this is like
correct.
a content
No,
creator
but I'm
feel
saying,
like.
but
The
you have to,
hustler's war.
at some level,
Are you all on
you
the
have
same
to
page?
say, where is my cracking point? and what is my sanity, right? I
Yeah,
want to protect my own.
That's what I said when it,
Correct.
you know, back then when I said that it was this saturation level where I cried, I busted out.
Yeah.
And then
you shouldn't have to get to those levels.
Yeah,
So this is my learning, right? I've been doing this for a long time now, and I realized this should have happened maybe some time back. And now you've got to realize where you can say no and how much money do you really, this is the question, right?
When do you say no to money? Like how much money is enough money?
How much money do you really need to be happy? Honestly, it's a lot less than
Do you have a number, Suhail?
No, I don't have a number, but I don't think I need to be working.
You do? What is your number?
You do?
Like a couple of CRs.
A month? Oh. Annual, yeah.
Annual.
Like, that should be okay for anyone unless you're Elon Musk.
A month.
Yeah, so a couple of CR a year is like your easy street. Right, do you guys have a number of, or do you have a number?
It's never going to be enough.
No, it's never, exactly. Society tells you it's never enough.
I don't think that, so
to be comfortable.
Like I remember when you started off and you won like 20,000 rupees and you're like, okay, you know, that wasn't enough. You go to 50,000 rupees, that's not enough.
Yeah.
You go to a lakh and you're like,
that's good, right? That keeps you.
No, but it's also,
that's
you're also
bad.
You're constantly chasing.
You're never going to be,
right?
if tomorrow you drive a BMW, you're going to say, I want a Lamborghini. Tomorrow you drive a Lamborghini, I want a Rolls Royce.
When it comes to you guys, you're like constantly, you know, steady with this thing. And when it comes to us, it's like, okay,
You'll probably
you
get
have
the
to do
jet faster than me.
But you might,
I don't know if I should be upset about this.
burn the hell out where like...
No, I would probably have this pilot and be sitting
But
at like 50.
you're married to a hustler.
Yes.
He put a baby inside you. Well done, hustler. Yeah.
How's
He
that?
knocked you up, be like, you stay.
You need to then meet my child and then be like, and decide. That
is
would
the
be the
second
next.
baby coming?
No. Meet this one. Oh my God.
Oh,
There's only one child.
Okay.
Like we don't come from the generation that we have the
how does
luxury
that
of 2-3 children.
You have one house with a hustler. He's a producer, you said, right?
Yes.
Right. And then you have a 9-to-5er. How do you make that work?
That's why I said it was very long and you were like, you cannot be a hustler 9-to-5er. But I'm like, for me, I run off the highs. Like when I'm working, so if it's once I'm turned on at 9 o'clock in the morning and then once I work on to like 9 or 10 or whatever, but that's my call. Like I should log off at like 6 or 7.
Right.
But I find my peace because I have not learned how to make that full.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like the world can go around. Like my world is my work, right? At that point in time. So I'm focused on that. So then whatever you're doing through it, like he travels a lot with work as well. So there are a lot of times like Wednesday to Saturday or Tuesday to Saturdays, I don't see him because he's not there.
Right.
But I've got work going on. So for me, that's fine.
He's hustling, right? So there might be a day where he comes back on a Tuesday and says, next Wednesday I have like 4 days off, and then on a next Tuesday, like, dude, I'm sorry, I've got another gig.
No, but I mean, that's what I said, right? That's where you do priorities. So, and like he said earlier, like sometimes you've just been doing it for so long and you've established certain things. If you don't prioritize your life and you don't prioritize the things you want to do, even for hustlers, I think at one point you're going to burn out. First of all, you're going to burn out soon. And then you're going to burn out sooner if you don't say that, okay, you know, this holiday is something I want to take because listen, it's my best friend's bachelorette.
But do you guys have the same priorities then? Because in a relationship, it has to work. But the time he might prioritize work at times, and you might also.
No, at the end of the So the thing is, then that's going to full separate conversation. Because at the end of the day, when we got married, like we've been together 10 years before we got married, and now we've been married 7 years. So we waited 7 years and a planned, unplanned baby, whatever it was, but. The point is like...
Which one was it? Hang on. Stop this.
It's like how we're hustlers in 95.
No, because
it's one of those
he or she are going to watch it like 10 years from now and say, Mom, was that a mistake? Like, no, baby.
It's like we took 7 years to make this mistake.
Sameeksha, you had one last question that you want to ask. I saw you twice, so let's...
I was going to ask her that, is this really your passion? Like 9-to-5 job, is this really your passion?
Yeah, this is what you see yourself doing like even 10 years from now.
Yeah, definitely.
You love
I actually planned to come into this situation, Like what I've done in the past has actually planned for me to be where I am.
And did you also just plan to be where you are? And this is what you see yourself doing?
PR is a cool word.
Yeah, I love PR.
But then you said that you left, like,
I did try sort of freelancing in the middle for like a couple of months.
So she was a hustler for 2 months.
Yeah.
God damn! That shit is on, isn't it? It's a different...
But I failed miserably at it. So I said
freelancing as PR itself. Okay.
But I think when you get a 9-to-5er to do a freelancing gig, the problem is because we're so worried about that security. When we don't, we run it for a very short time.
And we have it, 24/7. Like
there you go. With that one line, it's
I know people who are hustling, and for example, saying 9-to-5 may be this thing. It may not be something you're happy with.
There are times where you really like. I've had times where I've paused and said, fuck, what am I doing? Should I just quit all this and join a marketing firm or join a sports
I thought he was going to be like,
company?
join a cult. I'm like,
no. Join a sports management company, do things. I mean, there are options, right? There are options for someone who
With
again,
your
like I said,
experience, yeah.
I mean, you know, I do think that I love what I do. I absolutely enjoy what I do. I think I'm good at what I do.
Plus, you're
But-
getting paid for it.
Yeah,
Woohoo.
yeah, which is great.
You
but
don't think
there
you're paid for it as well?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that, yeah.
ऐसा donation नहीं खोला हम लोग ने.
And she's like, yeah.
हम CSR कर रहे हैं.
नहीं यार,
95 basically means that I'll break my back, I'll bust my ass, and I will do this for free. Thank you.
No, but can we sum up and just
No.
just give me sum up and say that I think the couple of things that we all agree on is the hustlers have it harder with the mental physical health. We have an example right here of someone who's had multiple disc bulges and man, I just wish it doesn't get worse than this, but I think that's something that the 9-to-5ers and the hustlers on the table agree. I think something that we don't agree is on who works harder. Clearly you're lazy.
But I mean, there might be some hustlers who have to put in less effort than you guys, right? Like,
Sorry?
there might be some hustlers who have to put in less effort with you guys. The same way there are some
then
95ers.
they don't have enough of motivation, and you know they
that's
can't
wrong,
change
no?
yourself.
No,
Yeah, but I think that's another
That's
conversation
not-
completely because right now
that's
She's right. She's right on
I'm
that.
saying
You are 100%.
Yeah, and I was like, at the
And
same
similarly
time,
95ers,
yeah. So
then-
the thing is, again, that's very subjective, right?
True.
But there are other hustlers who might like, they've created a structure in their own
Correct.
I
ecosystem,
think
right?
for
They're
both
like,
hustlers and 9-to-5ers, what really depends on the amount of work you're putting in is what are your life goals?
Yeah.
Where are you heading at?
Correct.
So, I mean, when I started
Where are you
off when I
willing to
was,
stop,
yeah, exactly. When I started off at 23, I said I need to be like at an X position when I'm 30.
Right.
So I put in those many
Yeah.
hours, and so that's why I say that I don't think that there is that the hustlers are working more or the 9-to-5ers are working less. I don't think you can define it.
So just one last question, because we don't do a verdict on this. We let the viewers decide.
Yeah.
So I'll just ask you guys one question. Do you think it's easier for a hustler to jump into a 9-to-5 or a 9-to-5er to become a hustler?
No, I don't think so.
Either ways, like you don't think a hustler can do a 9-to-5 or a
because
or
see,
a
I'm
9-to-5er?
a 9-to-5er, and I won't be able to hustle because I'm.
But you think a
very-
hustler can jump into the 9-to-5?
I don't think so because you know
Either.
the difference is that for a 9-to-5er there's like a structure that you're working according to, right? And I don't think a person who's hustled for like a long time can fit into that structure.
They'll not
anymore,
get that same
or
kind of
vice versa.
satisfaction.
I'm going to disagree slightly. The satisfaction they won't get for sure of what they've got from their hustle. Like I know people who've hustled, freelance, been models, been whatever else, hustled somewhere else, and then found, man, what is the point of this? Like, what is the point of this? I need structure in my life. I need stability. I need mental peace of mind.
Correct,
And they've actually
because
moved to
then
like this person who's moved to Google and very, very happy.
Which jump is easier for you?
I don't think it's a jump per se. I think it's a
Or it's a
personality
leap.
trait. No, oh my God, it is. But I think it's a personality type, right? So if your personality type, like for example, she said she did a 9-to-5, but she didn't enjoy it,
Right.
and which is why the hustling works for her. But I was like, for me, the hustling didn't work. It didn't work for you.
No,
it didn't work for
this
so
is the
many
question.
people.
No, not enjoyment. I mean, the hustler
I'm
moves to
saying-
9-to-5, they're not enjoying
That's
it
what-
much.
Correct, and the same way.
But they're going to do it because
But a
for them, it's
9-to-5
peace of
may
mind.
really love it.
What is the easier transition? A hustler to a 9-to-5 or a 9-to-5er to a hustler's job?
I feel like it might be a 9-to-5 to a hustler. Now,
So you think it's
I
the
think
other way around?
it
So
might be easier.
Okay, and what about you, Sameeksha?
Because you're used
from
to
a 9 to
hustling.
5. Yeah, switching
9 to
from
5
9 to
to
5 and
a
being a
hustler,
hustler.
yeah.
Yeah, because I've done
It's
that.
easier, you're
And
saying.
it was
9 to 5
hard
to
for
hustler,
2-3 months.
Yeah.
But then
It's hard because initially you're not getting that same salary. At the end of the
of
day, you're
course.
like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
shit,
Yeah,
what's
it's a
happening?
risk. That's a
Guys,
risk
for
element, yeah.
For 1 month, I was like, my mother was like, what are you doing? Like, you're sitting at your home and you're doing nothing. But
Guys, I'll tell you what, this vodka is
oh,
done. That means that is the end of this episode.
he might become
This guy's going crazy. No, but thank you so much, guys. Valuable insights, and especially as a hustler, I did find myself learning a lot about your side of the spectrum also, and I can't thank you guys enough for coming and just being so cool. And that was the video, guys. If you watched this entire thing without following Man's Life India, shame on you. Go on to YouTube right now and follow us on all our other social media platforms. Peace out. Bye-bye.
When you started off and you won like 20,000 rupees and you're like, okay, you know, that wasn't enough. You go to 50,000
exactly.
rupees, that's not enough. You go to a lakh and
You have a number, Suhail?